How difficult is it policing Humberside in terms of your unit because of the geographical location, the coast, the ports and the agricultural link to North Lincolnshire? How difficult is it to keep an eye on modern slavery?
It's a challenge because our dwindling numbers of police staff are a factor in that. We don't have those community police officers like we used to historically 10, 15, 20 years ago. That said, that is a forced priority, and that community aspect of our policing is coming more and more to the fore. So whilst I haven't got an answer for you today, I'm hoping that that process that we're putting in place as a police service and as Humberside Police being supported by the PCC around not closing our police stations, putting our intelligence function back into the realms of neighbourhood policing and actually interacting with our communities, because we lost that for a little while, and that's certainly now at the forefront of everything that we're going to do as a force around vulnerability, around safeguarding and around that actual engagement with our sometimes hard to reach communities, because our demographic is changing and it's constantly changing, and we are a portal area. North and south bank of the river is a portal area, so that ability to come from Europe straight into the UK is huge for us.
You mentioned just about the ports there. We've heard today that there's practically not enough policing and customs officers at these ports.
Yeah.
That can't be helpful to this.
No, it's not. But that's the sad reality of policing and agencies of all genres are finding that pinch. You know, gangmasters licensing don't have enough. Border force don't have enough. You know, to do what we would aspirationally love to achieve, and we've got to put our resources where our priority areas are. And that's the difficult bit, is after actually establishing those priority areas because of the lack of intelligence. So it's a bit of a chicken and egg and a self-fulfilling prophecy, in that because we don't have the intelligence, I can't then make that a priority area because it's not supported by the intelligence. And the lack of intelligence means that vice versa, that you won't see the staff there that perhaps we should have there.
With you mentioning Hull's growing diversity of ethnic minorities and general demographic changing, I mentioned it before, but are people less likely to come to you and say, I think there's something wrong next door? Because it might just be deemed as, they might think it might be coming across as racist. Do you think that might be slightly, could be one of the curveballs to reporting stuff?
No, I don't think so anymore. I think that there's been a significant, it's probably the contrary, if I'm actually honest. I think people, because of what's happening with, and Brexit features an awful lot, and we may think it's going to just happen and just go along as a political agenda. It won't. That will have an impact in all sorts of areas of policing, certainly. And I think Brexit, and that when you look at people reporting things because they see it as racist, that doesn't happen anymore. They report it because a lot of them have an angst against migration. So they want to report it and they want to highlight it. And that's sort of a negative positive, if you like. They're doing it for the wrong reasons, but at least I'm finding out the intelligence. And it's that moral stance that people are now taking around, certainly when we speak to people around migration and immigration, they don't want to see that coming into our cities anymore. And so they'll report it, and they'll report all of those what historically probably wouldn't have been reported. But as I say, they're doing it potentially for the wrong reasons, but at least I'm seeing that intelligence come through.
Did the events in Westminster last month, was it last month, and what happened in Manchester a couple of days ago, is that maybe another factor why people talk, oh, listen, this isn't, I don't want to come across as racist, basically, because I'm saying to someone, look, I think these guys are wrong. I think this guy's wrong. I've done it myself. I've reported someone I thought was willing to, just after the Charlie Hebdo attack in Paris, I was working in the kitchen, and they came on the news, and then 2 seconds after it went off, they were going, Charlie Hebdo, yeah. I reported it to you guys. I thought that would be the right thing to do, but when I did it, I thought, I'm being racist here.
No, and I think more and more people are taking the same view as you. They won't. People are not. They're not comfortable with that kind of behaviour anymore. Whereas before they would bury their head a little bit and think it's not really my business. I think the atrocities that happen highlight why community intelligence is so vitally important. And people are now starting to report those things that were seen as minor at one point. They're actually just reporting everything now, because if it's suspicious to them, then they want to divulge that. They want to disclose what they've seen, what they've heard. And after every atrocity, there is always a spike in intelligence from the general public. Always. Because people are far more aware of it. And whilst we don't want to alarm anybody in any of this, people generally look out for people. So when something happens, they're instantly, their awareness is sharper, and they notice things that perhaps they wouldn't have just walked past before and not reported. And now they tend to ring in with everything.
Right, that's pretty cool. I think that's done, mate. I think
All right.
that's brilliant, that, Mark, to be honest. I got more than I thought I was